Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. Liftoff.
Hello. What is up, family? You know the deal. It's Interplanetary Monkeys with Hunter Klein, episode number 48, guys. 48 straight weeks. We're getting more ideas than ever. All right, guys. I told you next time I move, the studio is going to be upgraded. Okay, and I'm not a lot of things, right? And we've heard it here first. I'm not a good boyfriend. I'm not a good emotional support, but I am. But I am a man of my word. And I'm going to be moving around March, April next year. And at that time, when I move into my new place, I'm going to be designing the new studio. What does this all entail? Well, I got to be careful here. Funds are limited, but it's going to be a slow drip, right? I'm not going to cash everything in all at one moment and have a top tier TV recording studio, TV recording studio. But slowly but surely, we'll get there over time. All right, I am going to get an artist to come in and paint one of the walls. I'm going to get a custom neon sign that says Interplanetary Monkeys to put on the other wall. I'm going to get a new chair. We're going to get some lighting. We're going to get, a dedicated corner so we can get this sketchy ass bed out of the backdrop and this sketchy ass curtain out of the backdrop. And it's just going to be a little more professional. Right, there's not a lot we can do for the video or the audio side of things, right? Our audio is kind of maxed out in regards to quality. We could tweak our microphone here and there, but I'm really looking to upgrade the video side of the podcast, especially because on Spotify or whatever platform you listen to, chances are that video is going to be coming public soon, right? So Joe Rogan has video on his podcast on Spotify. If you pull up Joe Rogan on Spotify, you are able to actually watch the video upload of it through that app. Now, what you may not know is this is only available for select podcasters, the big boys, the ones at the top, okay? It's kind of like an initial rollout, a tester to see how this works. So Joe Rogan's got first access. The H3 podcast is another one that I know that also has video on Spotify. But it will be becoming available to me soon. And when it does happen, I want to make sure that we have top-notch stuff, okay? So we're going to have lighting. We're going to have the whole shebang, okay? And last but not least, the last upgrade I'm going to be making is a TV, BBC-approved camera, recording camcorder, a recording camcorder. I'm not sure if that's correct, but an upgraded aspect of the visual quality of this podcast. Well, that runs around $3,000, right? So that's a long-term investment, right? We don't have that sitting in our back pocket right now, but that'll be our last upgrade. So yeah, things are exciting, guys. I'm excited to move. I'm excited to plan on the sound. I'm excited to hire an artist to paint some walls. We're getting a new logo starting episode 52 or around there. It's going to be the end of the 1-year anniversary of IP Monkeys. I want to make sure that we celebrate in some way, turn things up a notch in some way. And I think we can do that by increasing the branding, right? The logo, everything surrounding it. Maybe a little more professional, guys. I think that's the goal. Always getting better, always improving, and making sure that the core, the heart and soul of this podcast stays steady. And I think we're doing the damn thing, guys. I think we're doing the damn thing. But welcome, guys. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope everyone's getting through, feeling good. If you're not feeling good, pushing through. It's been an interesting time for me in my head. All right. So I live alone, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to go on this spiel again. But as of recent, I've been getting a large amount of memories from my childhood, specifically memories of my degenerate childhood. Okay. They're sneaking up on me more and more the more I spend time alone in my apartment, and it is overwhelming. I'm starting to feel like a shitty person, to be honest with every single one of you. It started during the crux of quarantine and it hasn't stopped since. It's like my brain's been suppressing these memories and now finally the genie's out of the bottle. Let's start here. I had a problem with stealing, guys. I was a damn thief. And the most prominent memory I have of this was stealing condoms when I was in the 4th grade. So I could have been 9. I was probably 10. I'm not exactly sure. But I was stealing condoms as a youngster and I don't feel good about it. So I think it's before we dive into this story, it's important to keep in mind that while I was only stealing condoms, and that might not seem that big of a deal, as a 10-year-old kid, stealing condoms is like stealing $1 million briefcases from the Federal Reserve. It's high stakes. As a 10-year-old kid, condoms are a mystic object. Seeing a packaged condom as a young man is like seeing a heroin needle. They do what with this? They put what in what? It's unbelievable. It's almost hard to wrap your head around. It's a mystic object for a young man. So you know that it wasn't just as simple as we randomly grabbed these, right? I didn't just walk into the gas station and randomly grab some condoms. No, I had a plan with the boys. Okay, the morning before we had our mission, our heist, we had a plan. And that morning before was like a criminal briefing before a bank heist. It might as well have been. As with how nervous we were, with how much thought went into each step. Where are we going to put them? What do they look like? What packages are we going for? What are the top-notch, most sought-after packages? What are we going to do with them when we get them? How are we going to hide them from mom? So fast forward to the walk to the gas station. Ironically, the gas station was called Come and Go. Right? I'm not kidding. I'm not making this up for storytelling purposes. We had a mission to steal condoms from Come and Go. Okay? And some of the boys are sketching out, right? We're approaching the gas station. Things are getting tense. Things are getting really tense. We're moments away from the big moment and pressure is at its highest. All right. My boy Ben's in the back, like freaking out. I don't know if I can do this, man. I don't know where I'm going to put him if my mom finds out. She is going to kill me. You guys going. You guys going. You go. All right. We have to get him together. We can't lose a boy. We can't lose a boy. It's going to ruin the attitude of the whole group. We need the squad. We're a little nervous ourselves. Get it together, Ben. Get it together. We're in and we're out. Okay. We're too close now for you to puss out. Man up. Let's do this. We'll keep him at my place. Okay, you don't got to worry about that. So we calm the squad down and we enter the gas station. Now, at this point, we're blacked out. Adrenaline is so high, we don't know up from down. It's just get in, get the package, and get out. All right. So package secured. We're cool. We get out of the gas station. We calmly walk about 50 yards. Get out of line of sight from the gas station, and then it is a full sprint home, probably around a quarter mile. So we get home, we're gassed out. It's time to marvel in our loot, marvel in our mystic goods. We get down to the basement of my place, we get in a nice circle, and lay the condoms out front and center. A little nervous to make the first move, we eventually open up and pull out condom numero uno. Keep in mind, the way we're handling this condom, the way we're handling these packages, the nerves we have, how careful and precise we are with our movements, we might as well have been holding a $20,000 first edition Pokemon card, guys. We don't know what we're dealing with. Okay. The sketch friend that was sketching out at the gas station is now, we're all sitting down. He's pacing back and forth behind us, freaking out, about to lose it. We're a collective mess. We really didn't plan this far ahead. Okay. But mission success. We start opening them up, stretching them out, putting them on our hands, filling them up with water, the whole deal. We tried it all. Every YouTube video you've ever watched. Now, turns out, my man Spencer copped some lambskins. And for whatever reason, we thought these were the crown jewel. Okay? And the last thing I remember, the last part of this memory I have is us explicitly, I don't even know what happened to the other condoms that we got, but we took this package of lambskins and we split them evenly. Right? It was like the last step. We split up the rewards. We split up the goodies. We all went home. I grabbed a screwdriver, opened a vent in my room, and slipped that bad boy away. Screwed it back shut. And I kid you not, guys, that condom is still probably sitting in that vent in that house in Omaha to this day, not lying. I would honestly like to go check. Now, in hindsight of this story, keep in mind, we only probably had about $12 of stolen goods. But I still feel terrible, guys. It feels like we robbed a bank. and come and go. If someday you find this, I'll hit you with the reimbursement. Okay. It's the least I can do. Thanks for supplying us with an adventure of a lifetime. All right. But we're all kids doing this, guys. These memories are flooding into my head as descriptive as the day they happened, and I can't help feel like a degenerate about it. Of course, we've come a long way and we're a better person, but why was I doing this? Right? Is this what all middle school boys are doing? Or was there just something demonic rooted in me? Right? That's the real conundrum we're in here. It'd make me feel better if everyone was doing it. Because right now I feel like I dodged a childhood in a detention center. Okay, we were also stealing cigarettes from my buddy's mom. Spencer, my buddy Spencer. She caught him one time and he told her that he was trying to keep her healthy. He was trying to keep her around longer. This demonic little fella. It's a good answer. But we all know that Spence was hiding these Marlboros so he could sneak off for the night and catch a buzz. And I was with him. Okay, so one evening we sneak off into the local creek. And this local creek is really where all the mischief went down in our town. I mean, at any time of the day, any day of the year, there's guaranteed to be someone in the creek smoking something. Right? That's the kind of place it was. If you see Jim and his girl Lucy going down there, you know what's happening. Right? That's what I'm saying. If you see Jim, Bob, and Rick going down there with a bag, you know what's happening. Right? That's the kind of place this was. It was mischief. It was not good. All right. But one evening we went down there. We go down there because Spencer's trying to test out some of his mama smokes. And we get down there, there's a couple other boys settled in with some darts of their own, some heaters, some cigarettes of their own. And I kid you not, one of these boys turns to me, raises the butt of the cigarette to his nostril, and yells straight to the cranium. And he took a rip of that cigarette through his nose that was so large, I thought it was a goddamn gag gift, guys. I'm not kidding. I know this seems ridiculous now. It seems pretty juvenile and not too impressive. But you have to keep in mind, I was a 9-10-year-old kid. I don't know how the respiratory system works. This nose ripper was one of the biggest badasses I had ever come in contact with. The man was defying what I even thought was possible. Right? I don't know that it all goes to the same place. As a 9-year-old kid, I thought there was a straight shot from the nose straight to the brain. I thought this man was literally filling his brain with cigarette smoke. I thought this guy's skull was hotboxed. And it mystified me. It mystified me. It was an absolute spectacle, guys. Whatever he was trying to do, 100% worked. Because I thought the guy was a legend almost instantly. Almost instantly, guys. But yeah, there's more where these came from, guys. There's more where these came from. And like I said, my conundrum here, my problem is, does this mean something? Right? Or was I just being an exploratory young man? Right? Is this just the natural path that young men take? Or do I have a little demonic root in me? I don't have a problem with stealing now. I would never steal anything now. I have morals, but what the hell? I was a good kid too. I was a good kid. You know, and maybe it's one of those things where we remember we only really remember the negatives, right? How odd is that? How odd is that? That out of all the memories in our life, it tends to be the ones that are negative that really linger the most and cause the most problems. Right? Of course you do remember. I remember awesome, beautiful memories, but the ones that stand out the most are the negatives. You know, the bad things that I did, the bad experiences I had with family members or other people. It's odd, guys. It's odd. And I remember bringing this up in a science class in college, and my professor saying that it is designed that way so we don't make the same mistakes over again, which is awesome. And I think has some validity to it. And I guess it seems to work, because I know how shitty it feels to steal condoms from Come and Go. But it's just an interesting dynamic, guys. It's an interesting thing to battle through, especially in a time of quarantine where all of us have no choice. We're forced to face the demons and spend a little extra time by ourselves. Now, I'm sure some people didn't weren't faced with this issue, right? They're in a relationship, they live with their friends, they go on. So, is that a benefit? Am I jealous of those people? I don't think so. I think while it's shitty, while it's pretty problematic to face this, there is a definite benefit to getting some of these things out of the way. Because like we've said before, there are some people that go their entire lives without ever facing their issues or their demons. Or I hate using the word demons because it seems so cliche, without ever facing the problems of themselves that they've been pushing back, that they've been suppressing. And there's people that go through life and never face that because anytime that they're not interested in improving, or that they don't think there's any value there. So rather than seeing those alone moments and seeing those difficult, really heady moments as growth, the potential to get over a hurdle, they avoid them completely at all costs, whether that means always having someone with you, never being alone, or being in a relationship, even though the guy's a fucking asshole, or even though the girl's not that awesome. Just making at all costs, whatever it takes, to be always with someone, to always have a companion, to always be entertained. So my point here is that I don't think I'm really frustrated about it, or I wish that it would have never happened, or I wish I could get rid of it. It's just what I'm battling right now. Old memories that kind of flooded the surface, and I'm just like, no, 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 no. We know. I get the lesson. I get the lesson, internal hunter. I get the lesson. Keep them down there. Every now and then float a couple to the top and let me deal with some demons, but let's chill a little bit, pal. Let's chill a little bit, guys. It is very interesting, guys, how quarantine as a whole, not just this introspective journey that we always talk about, how quarantine as a whole has this last year as a whole has just changed the world we live in, guys. I've mentioned it before, but meeting people in the world of mass is so strange. And this is something that I've talked on before and I'll talk on in the future, because I'm not living in a place that I've lived for 20, 15 years. I don't have the same friends that I've had for the last 5 years. I am in a state where I'm constantly building a community. I'm constantly trying to add to my friend group. I am constantly trying to find people, trying to meet cool people, trying to meet the right people in this area, because I don't have that yet. And it's so interesting being in that stage of my life and having to wear masks and communicate through this like half-assed method, right? So much of my communication and my mannerisms is lost when I talk to people right now. Everyone at the restaurant I'm working at doesn't even know what my face looks like. Okay. This is a little extreme, but it really happened. Me and a coworker literally pulled up each other's Instagram accounts to show each other what our faces look like. Now, I know you're probably like, what the fuck? You didn't need to do that. But masks are policies at our restaurant, and we're pretty strict. And if we take them off, our guests will, and it'll just be goddamn zoo. And there's probably a way around this. We probably could have shown each other our faces. My point is, right? Now that I'm saying this out loud, it's pretty silly, but my point is, how wild is it that this can even occur in these times? Regardless of how unnecessary this is, it's not too far-fetched in the COVID world. How wild is it this story is even possible in these times, guys? And I'm wearing masks so much these days for work. And I'm interacting with so many people through a mask that this is on my mind every single day, guys. So much of my communication is lost. So much of my intentions behind my words and sentences is lost. People are more careful. The communication's different. Jokes don't hit the same because people can't see your facial expressions. It takes them a second longer to pick up on a joke or to pick up on the intentions behind a word. It's very interesting. It's very difficult. Communication is so odd right now, guys. Now, I know a lot of people, this might not hit for some of you guys because some of you may not even wear masks, depending on where you live. Arizona is kind of a hot spot, especially if you're not going out very much, if you're not going to restaurants very much, if you're not trying to go into the public, you may not even ever wear a mask. So take my word for it, if you're not in the same boat as me, that communicating regularly through masks sucks, because so much of our communication happens at a very, very at the smallest level of facial movements, eye movements, the way everything, guys. No, I'm not exactly a professional in this. I'm not exactly too well versed in this field. I don't really know how to even explain the true message here, but take my word for it, it's not the same. And it does have a pretty profound effect on communication and connecting with another human. So, bottom line, I look forward to the days where we are vaccinated and I can keep my masks in my closet. Now, speaking of vaccinations, I feel like I got to give you guys this information. This is very valuable. So, as far as a actual vaccination becoming available in the world returning to normal, excuse me one second. Pfizer is the winner of drug companies on the race to a vaccine. And this past weekend, or maybe even the day of this episode's release, they will be submitting an emergency use authorization to the FDA. So what does this mean? It doesn't really matter. Pretty much what's happening is that we are skipping some of the more tedious steps of getting a vaccine approved. All right, these tedious steps normally push back vaccine releases for years, and we don't have years. So we have to streamline this process as much as possible, and that's pretty much what this drug company is submitting to do. Now, Pfizer is not alone. Moderna is another drug company that is close behind, saying that they will have this same emergency authorization submitted within the next couple weeks. Okay, so we at the very least, have two companies with legitimate vaccines that'll hit the market by the end of this year or early next year. But like I said, vaccines or drugs in general are a nightmare to get approved, guys. They take forever to get approved. I worked in a drug development lab for a couple years. There are hundreds of hoops that you need to jump through for the government for the FDA to allow you to put drugs into other humans, to allow those drugs to be subscribed to other humans. Rightfully so. I don't think any of us can be upset about that. But the need for a quick vaccine for coronavirus and the amount of resources we put into this vaccine research is requiring us to cut some corners. And this has people worried about the vaccine. If they're cutting corners, is it half-assed? Right? Should we be worried about a vaccine that's not ready to hit the market? From what we are seeing, guys, we do not need to worry about injecting a half-finished vaccine into our bodies. The humans it's been tested on have all seen successful results, reporting only a few days of feeling crappy. Okay? Let's turn a light on, huh? Oh, baby. There we go. A small price, guys. So these people that are taking or that are testing the vaccine, this vaccine is being tested on real humans, legitimate humans, are reporting only a few days of feeling crappy, and we've seen all successful results. A small price to pay for immunity in a world without masks, if you ask me, guys. This sounds awesome. So if everything stays on track, we should be seeing the start of a vaccinated world by the end of December. Nah, it's not all too pretty. Right? Don't take that at face value. First responders get the first doses. So at the end of December, you'll be seeing doctors and nurses get doses for the COVID-19. Next will be high-risk individuals. So this is going to be people that have had cancer, that have heart disease, that have pre-existing conditions, older folks, and so on. And then, friends, we get the vaccine, the general public, the youngsters, the healthy ones. And it's looking like where this third step here, the general public, isn't going to be until the middle of 2021. Like the summer of 2021, it sounds like we're going to get our hands on a vaccine. So, unfortunately, I think that means that it's going to be until, July, August, September, where things might be back to normal. That's what it sounds like. I know that's kind of shitty for me. It feels shitty to say, honestly. And I'm sure that doesn't feel too good to hear. But at least we have something to hope for, guys. Okay? At least you can see the end of the tunnel now. At least we have something to, strive for. All right. Guys, last week, I don't know if you saw, but SpaceX launched a rocket to the ISS, the International Space Station. And once again, guys, and I'm going to open up here, I shed tears every time I watch a space launch. There it is. Straight up, I'm throwing myself out there right now. Every single time I watch a rocket launch off of Earth into space, I shed a tear. I get teary-eyed. I get filled with so much emotion and hope and inspiration and happiness, guys. It's such a beautiful thing. Because to me, it's the most beautiful thing you can see as a human being. Watching our species pull itself out of the trench that is our planet and our gravity, guys, to explore the universe is and will forever be the greatest story ever told. From monkeys crawling around on a mud ball to intelligent humans exploring and observing the universe, guys, you can't make this in a movie. The implications this has for us all, the hope and purpose this gives to the future of our species, a now interplanetary species. Okay. And this emotional response to space launches, guys, and that last phrase right there is ultimately why this podcast is named Interplanetary Monkeys. So I guess we just came to the conclusion that I named this podcast after me crying to rocket launches. Pretty cool. Also, while we're on this topic, the intro for the podcast, the audio and the countdown is actual audio taken from the launch of our mission to the moon. So I think that's pretty cool. The 5, 4. It's actually the countdown from NASA during our launch to the moon, and I cropped it out of a recording that you can get online, which is awesome, guys. It's special to me. It hits different. Okay. But yeah, this discussion was all sparked by that SpaceX launch last week, guys. They stream all their launches on YouTube, and I tune in every opportunity I can. You can hear their communication, their call outs, and badass catchphrases. And the announcers actually walk you through the viewer through what is going on, what certain call outs mean, what you're seeing on the ship, and so on. So you're not just blindly watching this giant metal cylinder fly into the sky. And I don't think you have to be emotional about it like me to find it entertaining as hell, guys. It's special. So much, thousands and thousands of people, of brains and work came together to lift that thing off the ground. The rocket is landing itself. There's parts of this rocket that are detaching before entry into space, and they're landing themselves back on Earth, guys. It's cool to watch. Bottom line, humans are awesome. Some are pretty confused and had shitty parents that came out as assholes, right? Let's be honest. We all know that's true. But overall, humans are awesome. We come together to accomplish incredible feats, joining forces for a business that benefits the world, coming together to build massive buildings or structures, or even coming together as support groups or communities, i.e. interplanetary monkeys. We may not be the most badass living thing here on Earth. Right? We don't have the massive jaws. We don't have the sharp teeth or horns or incredibly long necks. But we have the ability to come together, combine our brain power, and change the very world that we inhabit. Now, of course, this isn't always good. Cough, cough, global warming. Cough, cough. But it is still an incredible thing, guys. Especially considering the story we are in. Considering our surroundings. What do we live on? What do we live on? We live on a ball of dirt. Where is that ball of dirt? In a very immense black space. All right, where is that black space? We have no idea. Okay? Where we sit in reality, guys. It's all a spectacle. It's a story. It's a backdrop. It's a storyline that the magic of cannot be conveyed through traditional stories. So I always have, it always is slightly frustrating to see people steer away from exploring this or learning more about this or even like talking about this. And we have so much interest for stories. We love good stories. We watch movies for an awesome story, for an awesome story arc, and an awesome conclusion. But we don't have that. We don't spend enough time talking about the greatest story of them all, right? Our adventure, the one that we are on. The journey of the only known life form through a very vast cosmic arena, guys. It's a goddamn spectacle. And I wish that it got more praise. 100%. Matter of fact, I wish it got more praise. All right, guys. The Interplanetary Monkeys hotline is 602-892-4371. Call into that, leave a voicemail, share your thoughts, anything you want to talk about. Are you having some emotional issues? You want some advice on emotional issues? Do you think that I need advice on relationships? I might. Drop something on me. We'll see. Do you want to talk about what happens when you die? Do you want to talk about attracting women at a bar? I don't really care, guys. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. We hop all over the place, right? And I appreciate the involvement no matter what. So once again, that hotline is 602-892-4371. Call into that number, leave a voicemail, get involved, and let's see what happens, guys. Overall, guys, things have been good. Things have been good. Things have been slow. I've been in my head more than ever, but that's not a bad thing. Work's going well. We're making money. We're about to buy a new car. My relationship with social media is getting better. I'm starting to realize that I just don't care anymore. I'm just so exhausted by thinking about it all, guys. I'm so exhausted about overthinking posts and trying to figure out how I can use that platform for good. My problem with it is there's a lot of I have a lot of issues with it, and I don't want to be hypocritical by the way that I use it. But it's hard because it's all mixed. It's all muddy gray area. And it turns out, well, from what I can tell, the only thing that really matters is your perspective on it, your intentions behind posts, your intentions behind certain things, how you use it. So with that considered, I'm just going to start posting whatever the hell I want. Because I know my intentions are pure. I want to help. I want to motivate people. I want to make people think. I want to make everyone better. I don't want to clout farm. I don't want to farm likes. I don't need your likes to make me feel better. And I think with all things considered, it's time for me to relax a little bit on there and just do me, play around, have fun with it. That's the point, right? I think that's the point. But all right, guys. It might have been a little different episode. It might have been a little different change of pace. Things have been a little weird. Today I've been a little bit weird, but that doesn't matter, guys. We show up and we show out. I don't know if we exactly showed out, but we show up without a doubt every single week until the end of time, y'all. Thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast. If you're here right now, if you're listening to this episode 33 minutes in, much love to you. Much love to you. Thank you for being here. This podcast has a long road ahead of it, and I hope you enjoy. I hope you stick around. And if you're not, you don't have to listen to episodes every week. I hope, maybe 2 years from now, if you don't even listen to the podcast for 2 years, I hope 2 years from now, you hop in on episode number 150 and you check it out again. All right. Just thank you guys for even being here, for even listening to this episode, for listening to any episode. This project means the world to me. It's the by far the most special project I have in my life. It fuels me more than anything. And, I just love sharing perspectives with people and just talking about this human experience we are all going through, because it is not a simple thing. All right. And I think while it's easy to kind of coast through and kind of ignore the complexities of it all, I think, the least we can do is examine it just a tad. Maybe once a year. Tune into Ivy Monkeys once a year. I'm still promoting the podcast, Hunter. Chill out. Thanks again, guys. Much love. I'll see you guys next week. That's it for this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys. This is Hunter Klein, and be good to yourselves, family.